Hey, good afternoon, Patricia, Carl. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Hey, can you guys hear me? What's going on, Darren? If you guys can hear me, put something in the chat or just come off mute and let me know. No one said something, so I'm wondering if you guys can hear me or not.
I can hear you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. We will give folks a few more minutes to come on in. How's everyone doing tonight?
I am good. How are you?
Doing better than yesterday, but I'm still definitely not 100% in terms of my voice. So hopefully I'm going to be able to get through today without it. Yeah. Yesterday was really bad. Today's a little bit better, but I just need to do a few days without talking and I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Danita, how are you?
Actually, this is Kimberly. Can you hear me?
Oh, hey, what's up, Kimberly?
No, not really.
Danita's box lit up, so I thought it was her. What's going on, Ray?
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, 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 good.
Hello, how are you?
Hello.
Oh, got some music.
Is that me?
Someone's jamming in the background.
Nice when you bring your own theme music.
Yeah. Funny. Let's see. Jacqueline's here. Nikki.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, hey, hey. All right. So, yeah, looks like we have some people rolling in. We'll probably get started in just a few minutes. Did everyone, hopefully by now everyone got access to the Facebook group. If you haven't got access to the private Facebook community, please drop something in the chat so we know to connect with you offline. But hopefully everyone got that, and hopefully everyone received the post that had the competitive analysis blog. We'll kind of be going through a live one of those tonight, so hopefully you had a chance to take a read over that because that's what we'll be covering tonight. I'm already starting to sense that there's a lot of activity in the group, so I'm just hoping that people can get the things that they need. So we'll try to, if it's really important, send an email and put it in the group, but I just hope things don't get buried in the Facebook group. We'll do our best to make sure that doesn't happen. Is that, no, so that's not Paid Ads Mastery. You have a separate Facebook group that's TFC Business Accelerator group. Let me put the link.
I think I have it.
Okay, let me put the link to that in this chat. Facebook. Okay, so I'm gonna pop the, so that's the private group for this group. So that's different than, okay, you already got it. Okay, good. Okay, so it looks like we got a good amount of people in, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna present my screen. I'm gonna go off camera to kind of preserve some bandwidth, and I'm gonna, excuse me, I'm gonna mute all of you guys now, and then at the end, we'll come off of mute and do some Q&A if we have some. So let me mute you guys. There we go. Okay. Well, before we go off camera, so let's start while we're starting here with competitive analysis, because I understand that it may not be the most exciting concept in the world when you're thinking about scaling with paid traffic and Facebook and Instagram. Doing competitive analysis may not be the first thing that comes to mind, but it's super, super important. A lot of business owners, especially inexperienced ones that are getting started off, they want to race to the finish line. They want $1 million in sales, but they're not going through the process needed to have that outcome. And this competitive analysis piece is a super, super important part of it. So you need to make sure that you're spending time to make sure that you're scoping out who your competitors are, how the landscape is, to make sure that you have a place in that landscape and that you can compete. Because if you're running paid traffic, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, it doesn't matter. If you're running paid traffic, you're actually competing with people that want your customers. So you're not the only skincare brands, you're not the only service provider, you're not the only person that sells t-shirts. There's a lot of businesses doing the exact same thing that you are, most likely. And even if they're not, there's other people that want your same exact customers, and they have choices. They have options. So you need to make sure that before you even spend a dime on paid traffic, that you're doing thorough competitive analysis so that you know what you can improve upon and what you can work on to give yourself the best shot of winning with paid traffic. So do not underestimate doing this work. It definitely could take some time. You probably want to block off maybe just like a day, like 8 hours to kind of thoroughly go through this, which I know probably doesn't excite many people, but this is the stuff that is needed to make sure that you win. So that's why we're going to start here. We're going to dive deep into it. And basically, I'm going to take you guys through me doing this live on a brand that I have. It's called, well, let me jump into it and show you. So let me stop video so my internet allows me to go quickly and share my screen. Over here. Okay. So this is the blog. So hopefully, like I said, everyone had access to this blog. It's a really good read. So make sure that you read over this a few times. We're not gonna go through this. You can kind of go through this on your own time. What I want to do in this session is actually have you guys look as I perform competitive analysis on a brand that I own. It's called the Brown Beauty Club. So basically, we just quickly threw up a Shopify store because the main purpose of the Brown Beauty Club isn't to sell products. It's pretty much a community that we have that connects, that's attempting to connect Black-owned businesses with their customers. So we have like a Facebook community, we send out emails and things like that. We decided to just quickly throw up a Shopify store, basically to see if we can recoup some of the money that we were spending on ads to get people into the community. So we weren't driving traffic directly to the store. It was pretty much just looking to offset traffic. So we put this up in less than a week. We put this up in probably like 3 or 4 days. So we just said something is better than nothing. But if we were running paid traffic to it, I already know that we would need to make some improvements. We would need to make some adjustments. So I'm going to go through a competitive analysis as if I were looking to run ads for the Brown Beauty Club and see what the competition is doing to see what I could do to improve upon this store. So the store right here, pretty much we're just selling t-shirts and hoodies, and it's a print on demand. So it's a drop shipping store. We sell like mugs and bags, pretty much the typical drop shipping type of stuff. And like I said, we put this up pretty quickly, but if I wanted to really put focus and energy in this, I already know that we need to improve on this. So I would start by taking a good hard look at what our competitors are doing. So hopefully everyone knows how to identify who your competition is in your space. So you definitely want to make sure that you leverage Google. You can leverage Facebook to do some searching, all types of places. Like, I don't think that really should be an issue. Does anyone on this call think they have a problem of identifying like 3 to 5 of their primary competitors? If so, throw it in the chat for me. Okay, so yeah, I assume that most people can do that. So I went in ahead and I just used Google to get some competitors. So I already did about 5 to just get a little bit of a head start. I pretty much just Googled t-shirts for Black women, I think was the Google search that I initiated. And then when I got some, it also showed me some other similar brands. So I used that as a starting point. So I would say for everyone on this call, you definitely want to make sure that you have at least 3 to 5 solid competitors that are selling the same product or services that you are, and those are the ones that you want to use for your base. So once you do that, this is kind of the process that I go through. So there's a template with a Google Sheet that you guys have access to. I kind of like to start off with a Google Doc, and I go through this exercise of conducting my competitive analysis. So we're not going to go through all 3 or 5. We'll go through like one solid example so you guys can get the hang of it. So I'm going to start with this brand right here, Power in Black. So once I did a Google search, I could see that they are pretty much selling t-shirts, and they're going after the same audience that we're going after with the Brown Beauty Club. So this definitely, and you want to make sure that the people that you're looking at are doing well. So you can kind of get a gauge of that several different ways. You can look at their social media following, which we'll look at. So just because they have lots of followers or likes, that doesn't mean they're making money, but it increases the chance that they are. So that's one thing you can do. You can look at their different products and see how many reviews they have. So the reviews are actually right here. If someone has a lot of reviews or a lot of testimonials, things like that, then you can assume that, you know, they're selling product or selling services. So this brand right here has 4,477 reviews. So I know they're legit. So that's an indicator. You also can see if they're running Facebook ads. If they're running lots of Facebook ads, that probably means they're making some money. So that's another way to see if someone is legit. And you also sometimes can just get that gut feel on if a brand looks legit or not. But I go through those exercises to see if something looks legit, because I want to make sure that I am trying to get inspiration. I'm trying to get knowledge from people that are further ahead than I am. So if my store, I had 10 reviews, I'm not going to be looking at a store that they have 0 reviews, because they may be making less money than I am. So that doesn't make sense. You want to kind of look for some of the best players in the game, because that's who we want to emulate. So we're going to take a look at Power in Black, because they're obviously selling some t-shirts. And I can give you guys this document as well. So I'm just going to put the information in here. So Power in Black, you want to make sure you have the URL so you can reference that at any given time. Main product or service. So they sell teas. I think maybe all they sell, Okay, so they have some accessories as well. So tees and accessories. Price point. So price point is important. You want to make sure that your price is comparable to the competition, but you also want to make sure that you take in like the quality. Like with t-shirts, it's a little bit more cut and dry, but if you're selling like products, you want to make sure that yours can be more expensive. That's okay, but you want to make sure that if your stuff is more expensive, that you're able to justify why it's more expensive. So I can see for their shirts, see $19.99, I see $20.99. $20.99. Okay, so it looks like they're pretty much either it's between $20 to $21, so that's good enough. That's the price point. We want to check out their shipping costs. So what's it going to cost to get an item shipped? So we can see off the bat that there's free shipping on orders over $50, but we need to find out what are they charging for orders under $50, because shipping definitely plays a big factor if you're selling physical products. So like if your competition is all giving free shipping and you're charging $10 for shipping, it's likely going to be a problem. So to see how much they charge for shipping, we'll just go through the process and see if they, okay, so they have this where we can estimate our shipping. Okay, free shipping. Okay, that's because there's something in the cart, so it's over 50. So let's remove that item. Okay, so their standard shipping is $5. So it's $5. Shipping and free over 50. So that's important information for us to know. So how long does it take to receive the order when people are dealing with stuff online? That can definitely play a factor. So we want to see how long is it taking them to get their orders out. So typically you can find that on FAQs. Yep, how long will it take? So most orders are arrived within 8 to 12 business days after ordering. So they're pretty clear on that, which is good. Let's check out the refund policy. For them, all sales are final, which is kind of common if you're selling t-shirts. Okay. And we want to see what type of payment they accept. So if you're placing an order, how can you pay? So to do that, oh, actually it was right there in FAQ. So that's good too. So they have a strong FAQs. We were able to get a lot of these questions that people answer right in FAQ. So that's like something to jot right down right now, is that you need an FAQ, because there's a lot of stores that don't have an FAQ, but if you're having questions that people commonly ask, it's always good to have this. So they pretty much accept credit cards, PayPal. I could have swore I seen, I thought I saw something about split pay. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I did, Afterpay. So they are accepting Afterpay that allows you to split up payments into 4. So that's a payment type. Okay, so again, like you want to make sure that you're mimicking the payment types that your competition have, because if you have a store and you only accept credit cards and your top 5 competitors are accepting credit cards, PayPal and Afterpay, that means you probably should consider accepting PayPal and Afterpay to make sure that you can play at the same level. So now I go into like strength of things that I like. My keyboard's all messed up. And this is from a customer perspective. So you don't need to be like a Facebook ads expert to do this analysis on things that you like. Like I definitely see things from maybe a different bit of an angle, being that I am a marketer, but you should address this as if you're a customer, because likely you are in the target audience of your competitors, most likely. So you can kind of see, would you be comfortable purchasing from a site that you're looking at, and what kind of things catch your attention. So kind of start the home page. Okay, so kind of what caught my attention first is like the nice banner image. So, and it features one of their shirts. So nice and clean, that banner image kinds of pops. So that lets me know that I probably need to work on something like that. What else gets so very clear, free shipping on all orders over $50. And that $50 is pretty attractive, because if you're shopping around, you may see like free shipping over 100 or 150, which is kind of steep. On something like this, it's like, it seems $50 is a pretty low amount. So that seems pretty attractive to me. That would make me want to try to spend that $50. So I like the fact that the shipping threshold is only $50. Okay. So, okay, I like how they tie in their Instagram feed. That just kind of, you know, seeing the people on here and seeing the Instagram, that's a nice little touch for a user. So I like that. You can get 15% off of your first order. That's kind of cool. Go to one of their pages. Okay. First thing that caught my eye here is like the product description is kind of fun. They have like song lyrics, so that's catchy. And if you're this audience, I'm sure that would resonate well. So I'm going to put catchy product descriptions. I like how they show lots of images of the shirt. So a lot of times you go to a store and there's just one picture of the product, but people may want to see it at different angles and things like that. So this does a pretty good job at that. Also a combination of flat lay plus lifestyle. So I think they do a really good job of featuring different products in this area. So feature good product imagery. And you can see that the imagery is really clear, so you can see like exactly what this says. It's not fuzzy, it's not blurry. These are like high quality images, which is nice. Okay. Love this part of it. So all of the reviews are very visual in nature. So this is an app called Lux. But this is really good. Like if you're having products like t-shirts or pretty much any beauty or fashion, this type of review is more powerful than just getting like something that's written. This gives the page a lot more personality, and this is going to get people more likely to buy. So if I was someone looking to buy, I see a lot of social proof here because I see all of these people wearing this shirt. So that gives a certain level of trust and social proof. So I really like the review app. Visual nature. And you can actually see, like, so if you were wondering like what platform someone's using, or like what app, a tool that you want to use is built with. I'll throw this in the chat. So I'm not sure if you guys have ever checked out this site, just doing it in the chat, but I can go and I can throw this URL into this. It's a free tool, and I can pretty much see everything that they're using on their store. So like I can see that they're on Shopify. So it's a Shopify store they're using. So that's important to note. That I probably should add that to the list to know if they're using like Shopify or Wix or other alternatives. This can tell you that. So that review app, like I told you, it was Lux. Using this built with, you can actually see it, and it says visual reviews for Shopify web stores. So you know that they're using that app on the store. They're using this for chat. I haven't heard of this one, but I may check it out. They're using MailChimp. They have an affiliate program. So very powerful stuff to kind of see what tools and platforms your competition is using. What else? This tells the type of payments they accept. And they have like server stuff, but the important stuff is at the top. So you can get some good information from that. Okay, so now you want to also jot down some things if there's some things that you don't like or some weaknesses that you see that as a customer, as a user, that would make you feel they can do better, you can do uneasy. You want to make sure that you jot that down as well. So let me see. As a user, and I know with clothing, like sizing is big, so some people, seems like you have to scroll over quite a bit to kind of see the size chart. I would kind of like to see that more prominent. So I wouldn't have to hunt that down, because if I didn't scroll over and see that, I may come here and not know how to size my shirt. So I think they could do a better job there. Let's see what else they can do. It's a pretty clean store. That's all fine. Let's see the home. Okay, Chelsea. And if you guys are sending messages in the chat, you can just send them publicly. I know sometimes it defaults to privately, but if you just click on everyone, then everyone will see it. So Chelsea asked, what happens if we cannot find our competitor on that website? Are there any other options to see what they're using? This is one that I always use, and I thought most people showed up on that builtwith.com, but I guess it's possible that they may not, but I think builtwith is like the biggest player in this space. So if they're not showing up on builtwith, then they may not show on the other ones as well. Okay, so Okay, so WordPress, so Ray said WordPress doesn't give as much information as Shopify. So yeah, it depends on what platform they're on, in terms of how much information you can get. So Chelsea, what website were you trying to find information on that's not in Built Wealth? Eczema, Honeyco. Let's see. Yeah, that's weird. It looked like they should be on here based upon what I see. So I'm not sure if people can opt out of this or something. Oh, so they showed up. Yeah, so they showed up. You got to make sure that you put in the URL. So when you're on Built With, put in the URL of who you're looking for. You should be able to find them. Okay, so back to things that I don't like on this store. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so it looks pretty good. So really not too many things that are like big time red flags on here. I probably will look harder, but for now, everything looks good. This is kind of annoying, like that I can't click off of this COVID-19 update. I can click more info, but I would like to be able to just X out of that. That's kind of annoying, but it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so now we want to check out some of their assets. So now I want to check out, first we're going to check out them on social media. So we're going to go to Facebook and we're going to check them out. Okay, so make sure that we have the URL. Likes. So about 142K likes. I think this was about 166 or so. Okay, so how often are they posting? Because like if you are looking at your competition and you see that they're actively posting on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and you're never posting, that's probably something that you need to work on because they're doing it for a reason. So this is pinned to the top in 2017, but okay, so this was 2 hours ago. 11 hours ago, so doing like customer appreciation. This was 11. So they're posting, I can tell already they're posting frequently, multiple times a day. So that doesn't mean that if you're just starting off that you need to post multiple times a day, but you probably should be figuring out, can you post one time a day at least? Kendra, when searching, and guys, yeah, if you have questions, you can pop them in while I'm doing this. Kendra asks, when searching for your competitors, should you look only at businesses that are the same size as yours? No, you should be looking for businesses that are larger than yours as well. So it depends on where you're at. So like if you're already a pretty established business, then you probably want to look at some roughly the same size as yours and some bigger, but you always want to make sure that you're looking at some brands that are bigger than yours because those are the ones that you probably can learn the most from. But they should be at your level or above. Post content. So what type of content are they posting? So we saw some customer appreciation stuff. They're definitely highlighting their products a lot. So pretty much their content is all like sell oriented. Like they're making sure that they're making sure that they're featuring what they're selling. So it's really product focused. Like I'm doing this, of course, I'm not going through it as long as I would if I was not doing this training. So I'll probably look a little bit more. So, okay, so they have some stuff like this. So this isn't product focused. So they may have some of this stuff sprinkled in as well. It is more of engagement style. Engagement post. Okay, do they use Facebook? Do they use the Facebook shop? So to see that, I'm just going to click on shop. And they obviously do because they have all this stuff tied into Facebook. So they are using the Facebook shop. Yes, do they engage with comments? So if you look at a competitor and they are engaging with their comments, they're getting back timely, and you're a smaller brand and you're not doing that, that's likely going to be a problem because people are expecting that. So if they're doing it, then you definitely need to make a way to find out that you're doing it as well. So to do that, we can just look at some of the comments if they're getting them. All right, this one doesn't have any, so they're really not getting too many comments on their page. Okay, but it doesn't look like they're really actively engaging with the people on their posts. If they were, when someone said, I like it, they would have someone from their brand acknowledging that. So I would put, do they engage with comments? No. Although, like I said, I would probably go deeper into this, but this is kind of a quick glance. Instagram account URL. So let's check them out on IG. So Power NTs. So their Instagram. Put that URL on here. Followers, oh, sorry, Instagram followers. So they have 174K followers. $74K, so it's a lot of followers. Posting frequency. So they have 6,427 posts. So I want to see how often they post. So this one was 2 hours ago. This was 11 hours ago. This was 11 hours ago. So they're posting to IG multiple times a day. Okay. Annette, when you get reviews on your website, should you respond to each of them? You definitely should try, especially when you're a smaller business. So, I mean, don't beat yourself up if you literally can't get to every single one, but people like that. And other people like seeing a brand respond to other people because it gives humanity to the brand. So I definitely recommend, same thing with Facebook ads. When you're running Facebook ads, we definitely see better results for those brands that are committed to making sure that they engage with the comments. That can be a job of its own if you're getting like a lot of comments, but typically that's one of those things that you can't tangibly measure the return on investment, but like every time that we have clients that, you know, make that a priority, those are the clients that are getting the best results. So I definitely suggest you try to as much as possible. Post content. So what type of stuff are they posting on IG? Pretty much pictures of, that's funny, a 2020 planner. So pretty much the same strategy as Facebook, a lot of products on there, and then they have a few engagement style posts. So product focused, a few engagement. Do they engage with their Instagram? comments. So let's see if we can find one that has like a lot of them on the actual shirts. Well, that's not a lot, that's 6. Doesn't look like it. Well, let's see one of these non. Okay, so no, they're not engaging with the Instagram comments. Do you think regarding IG that the likes matter more, or should the focus be on more engagement? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I mean, really, like the organic Instagram stuff is not my space. Like I'm just going through this process to like just kind of get a sense of what they're doing on that platform. So just because they're getting lots of likes doesn't mean they're making money, or just because they're not getting likes doesn't mean they're making money. So I'm not looking at it from that regards. I'm just trying to see how active they are and what type of following they have on the platform as part of, you know, my competitive analysis. Okay. So now, and this is an important piece, we definitely want to make sure that we are looking at their Facebook ads if they are running Facebook ads. So to do that, you want to go to this link. I'll drop it in the chat. The Facebook ads library. So basically, this allows you to see if brands are running ads, what those ads are. So they are running ads right now. They have 33 different ads running. So they're currently running ads. Yes. They have 33 ads currently running. It says 33 results. This right here tells you the date that the ads were launched. So if you keep seeing new recent things going up, that means that they are refreshing their creators pretty often. If you see something that is way in the past, then chances are that ad's working really well, which is why it's continuing to run. So what do I want here? What type of ads are they running? So let me give this a refresh here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so they have some images. This is a carousel ad that features multiple products. That's a carousel. Image, image, image. That's a video that's pretty much of images. That's a video, and if they have videos, this is why this is great, because you can actually view the videos right here. So when you're thinking about what type of videos should I be running, this is where this is super important, because you can come in here and see what type of videos your competition are currently running on their ads. And you can use inspiration for that, because if a video catches your eye and you think that it's good, then that's something that you can do for your brand as well. So they're pretty much using images. So single images, single product images, carousel images, like video, but pretty much like video slideshows, so what they're using. Okay, so are they running retargeting ads? So let's see. So typically you can tell a retargeting ad just based upon the ad copy. So like this says save 10% off with coupon code PIB. So we know that chances are this is a retargeting ad, because most times when people are running Facebook ads, they don't give discount codes on prospecting, but they hit them up with the retargeting ads. So that's a 10% discount code. And if it is for the first order, it's like this. It says save 10% off with your first order. So I am betting And this one right here is definitely a giveaway. It says ready to check out with 10% off help. Use coupon code POWER and save. So this is definitely a retargeting ad. So we can select yes to this. And do they offer a discount? The biggest discount that we just saw was 10%. And that said, this site has a lot of customer picks. Do you think they are just sending picks because they love the product, or was there some kind of incentive? What incentives do you suggest we use, if any, to get this type of engagement? So yes, they likely are incentivizing people to leave reviews, and there's different apps to do that, but likely what people do in a situation like this is you can say save 20% off your next order if you leave a review. So that goes off of email. If you use an app such as Lux that they are using, you can automate that. So you can say 14 days after order was placed, or 30 days after order was placed, send out this email, this automated email that gives them an opportunity to upload a review and save 20% off of the next order, and all that stuff will be handled through the app. So they're likely definitely doing that. You should too. What is their ad copy style? So again, we can see everything here. So we see what they're running. Like, this is super, super powerful. So their ad copy pretty much is super short. Yeah, so they have really short ad copy. So short direct ad copy is their style. Ray asks, what are you defining as ad copy style? What are some other variants of ad copy style? So definitely like a long form ad copy. So like if this was like longer ad copy, there would be like a see now link that you would have to click to go down. They're not using that. Another style may be like really salesy. So like sometimes you see stuff like this and they'll have like 3 shop now links in a row. So that would kind of be like salesy ad copy. It could be, if they did like lots of lyrics. I saw lyrics on some of these, but if that was like something that routinely popped up, and then that's something you can note. So it's just kind of like the feeling you get when you read their ad copy. That's kind of like the style. Okay. Okay, so then I also like to grab like some of my favorite ads, because this is something that you should look back at. And definitely when you're coming up with your strategy to run ads, you want to make sure that you have a swipe file of ads of your competitors that you think are good. So if you want to sort on this, you can sort by impressions high to low. So that doesn't necessarily mean that these ads made the most money, but typically if you're letting ads rack up the impressions, which is pretty much just the amount of time your ads have been shown, chances are the ones that have been shown more time are making you more money. So that's a good way to kind of sort this. So this is a carousel style. And if you want to copy the link, you just click on those 3 buttons, click copy ad link. So I go in, I do this. This one's kind of good, so I may pull in this one. And this right here is pretty much gut feel. Like I said, you want to look at this from a consumer perspective, like what catches your eye, what ad do you think is good. If you want to grab all of them, you can do that too. It just depends on how many ads someone's running, because sometimes people could be running hundreds of ads and you're probably not going to want to analyze all of them if that's the case. Jacqueline, I did an ad on yesterday. I was looking for the ad. I understand that I would not be able to view it. However, I can review it on the back end. So Jacqueline, yeah, if the ad is actually live, you would be able to see it in the ad library. So I'm not sure if that's like your question, but if you do have an ad active, it will show up here. So you guys get the point of this. Like I just go through this process, and if there's any good ads, if I see an ad that has like a cool video or something like that, then I definitely want to make sure that I look over again. I want to make sure that I document that URL. So when I'm coming up with my game plan for creatives or ad copy, I can come back in quickly and take a look at the ads. And when you do this across like 3 or 5 different competitors, you know, you can have like 30 or 50 different ads that you can look at and draw inspiration from. Kimberly asked, how much should you spend a day on Facebook ads? So that really depends on what you're selling. If you're on e-com or if you're a service-based business, how much your average order value is, but typically a benchmark for e-com brands, you probably want to be spending at least $1,500 a month. Like, so that's like $50 a day. And if you're a local service-based business, that amount could be lower because you may be only able to service like, 5 or 10 mile radius from your location. If that's the case, you may, be able to spend $500, and that's okay. If you're selling like info products or a service-based business and you can service clients from anywhere, then you probably also want to be like at that $1,500 a month mark. Can you answer Annette's question? Let me go back and see if I can find it. Oh, the one about, are they incentivizing people for the reviews? So I did answer that question. I said, yeah, they are most likely incentivizing people to leave reviews. They are probably offering them 15 to 20% off of their next order if they leave a review. And this is something critical too, is like, you can do this research, and this is definitely a start, but if you want to like be fully committed, if you want to get the full experience and you really want to know, then you buy the $20 shirt and you see how the experience is. Are they really getting it to you in time? Is it coming earlier? What's the packaging like? What are the follow-up emails like? Are they sending you an email to get reviews? So that's how you take this to the next level, is you actually buy a product. So find something that you like and do it. It's a lot easier for stuff like this because, pretty much anyone can drop $20 on a shirt and it's not gonna hurt them. It's a little bit tougher, but people still do it. Like if you're wanting to stock out service providers and info products, there's people that actually buy like $1,000 courses just to see what the course is and get the experience level. But if you're selling products, if you really want to know what your competition is doing, and from a customer perspective, buy what they're selling. It's a worthwhile investment. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're going through this and you're grabbing the ones that you like and placing them on here. A lot of the photos are from Placeit. Yeah, Placeit is a cool tool to get mock-ups if you want. Mock-ups as well as flat lays. So if you're selling t-shirts, Placeit is a pretty cool tool. We actually use that for the Brown Beauty Club also. Okay, next part, reviews. So this is really good. This is important to make sure that you're going through and you're actually looking at reviews wherever you can find them. And this is important for lots of reasons. The biggest reason is that you can see what customers are saying. So you can see if there's a common theme in reviews, whether that's a positive thing or a negative thing. You can use that to your advantage, which is important. So we want to make sure that we're looking at some of the reviews and seeing if we can catch any common themes. Okay, so great fit. Okay, compliments. I love my shirt. Great quality. Okay. This one's pretty cool. So cut and length. So what I like to do, there's all type of tools to do screenshots. I use an app called Sketch. That's a free app, but you can actually another one. So I'm already starting to see a common theme is that people are caring about the fit. So that means if I have a store, I want to make sure that I'm communicating the fit, and I want to make sure that I'm saying things like, these shirts fit great, because I can already tell that that's something that a lot of the reviews are commenting on, is how they like the fit. Where did the other one go? I don't know how my other one disappeared. It's wacky. Okay, that's the same person. I'm about to say they had the same exact review. Great. I mean, so if it just says great, obviously that's not going to be anything that you can glean much information from. So don't worry about those. Perfect fit. Everything got here so fast. It was impressive. So that's something that people are going to care about and you would want to emphasize if possible. So let's see this time if it works. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what happened that first time. And it doesn't have to be like nice and neat. I'll just like do this quickly. Okay, this one, it was a little tight, but I should have known that the women tee fit the curves. Overall, I love my top. I got many compliments on it, so that's important information. Like I said, this doesn't have to be like super neat and clean. I'm just doing this for like reference. It fits me nice and snug. My only recommendation would be increase the small bit. I feel like if I gain it too, put it in the dryer. Okay. That's interesting. So definitely the biggest thing with just doing this briefly is the fact that people really care about getting a great fit. So if I'm looking to sell more t-shirts, I want to make sure that people are confident that my shirt is going to fit them well, because that's something that a lot of people care about. I love the fit and the quality. Okay, even though it's a little large and I went up the size because I wasn't sure. I lowered the size because they're true to fit. So all of this tedious stuff that I know isn't the most exciting stuff. This is where the money is made, by doing your homework, figuring out what people are saying, because these are people that you want to order your shirts as well. Okay, so you go through that process. We'll stop there, but basically definitely what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a good sense at what are people really liking, and if I'm getting some negative comments, what are some of the common complaints, so I can make sure that I am being proactive with addressing all of those things so that people are going to be more likely to buy from me. So I have all this stuff. I store it. I could put it in like a Dropbox and make it prettier, but I kind of like go through this process first of just getting all this information down. And I would do this for 3 to 5 of the competitors. So I'm going to do the same exact exercise, and I'm going to see what they have in common, because once I have that, that's also what I want to do is I want to do this next exercise, which is pretty much doing like a collective assessment. So if I have 5 different people that I want to review, I want to take a look at all of them and compare them to mine. So I have 5 in here that I'm going to use. So that's Power in Black. This is another brand. This is another one. Trap. So, okay, so once you have your competitors, I pretty much just put them all up in the same browser, such as this. And what I'm doing is I'm gonna ask myself a few questions. So what are the similarities of the home page? So I'm going to the home page of all of these stores. Make sure I have the home page. And pretty much I'm just trying to do a glance at what they have in common. Because the big thing is like, if I see something on all 5 or all 3 of my competitors and it's not on my store, that's probably a problem. That means I definitely need to work on getting what it is that they have implemented on mine, because there's a reason why they have it. It's because it's making the money, it's leading to increasing conversion. So I'm just kind of going this, like I definitely noticed that they have a nice banner. This one, nice banner image. They have a nice banner image. So all of these definitely lead with like an attention grabbing banner image. So that's something that they have in common. What else do they have? I think I noticed they all have. It's a headline. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so at the top, they all have kind of like this headline that communicates some type of message. So that's something I see in common. So if my store didn't have that, that would be a problem. Okay, so these are, I think they all probably feature. So I'm seeing everything is like everything's on white background. So the products are on white backgrounds. Yeah, so products all have white backgrounds. Let's see. Let's see, email capture. So they have a chat. This is their email capture. They have that pops up. Okay, so they can join their mailing list. Says how to join their mailing list. Mailing list. So, okay, so they all have on this homepage, they all give you an opportunity to join the mailing list. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else? Looks like they all have the menu items at the top. Yeah. So they're not like off to the left or anything like that. So all of them consistently feature their menus at the top. So that's something similar. So at the top. All right, so that's at the home page. Now you also want to go into like the product description page and see what each one is doing. So it really doesn't matter which one we're looking at. We just want to take a look at their respective product descriptions to see what they are doing, if anything is similar. Okay, so let's see. That catches my eye. Do they have Afterpay? I think that's Shop Pay, so this one may not have Afterpay. No. So they have exit intent on that one. So if I was analyzing that one, that may be something I would put down. She has Afterpay. So a few of them have a split pay option. It looks like they all, first glance, they all have more than one. They all have more than one product image. Nope, this one doesn't. That one doesn't. I know that. Let's take a look at another product. So this one does have one, yeah. So pretty much, if we looked at another one, it may. But so most of these definitely have more than one product image of the product. So that's something that looks like it's important. Caught me off guard. Okay. They got a culturally diverse audience here. So it looks like, so what's this? I'm not sure what review platform this is, but it looks like all the other ones are using the Lux Review app. Let's see. Let's take another look at a chart here. So they actually, that's interesting. I'm not seeing any reviews on this store. Interesting. This one. Okay, so this one has more text reviews than it does image reviews on it, but quite a few have image reviews. All but one feature reviews on the PDP page. See that it looks like a lot of them are offering related products. Okay, so that's related product. This is frequently bought together. Popular products. Other dope products. So it's recently viewed. You may also like. So that's a big piece. So on all these product description pages, they're giving you an opportunity to view other shirts that you may like. So that's something I definitely want to jot down. Showcase more than one product on the PDP page. Okay. That. So view size chart. So that size guide is right on here. They have a size guide. They have a size chart. So all of them have a size guide on the product description page. So if I didn't, that would be a problem. And then you want to go through, add into the cart and seeing what happens. So see how that process is. So I'm just going to add this to the cart. So they have like a pop-up. Go to the cart. Okay. Let's see how this functions. So when they do it, their checkout's a little bit different. Okay. There it comes to the side, and you can also kind of see like which one and which experience you like the best when you go through and check out, you know, other people's process. Like this one definitely is the worst because you can see when like I add to cart, the only thing that's happening is this is changing. So this is 4 because I just clicked on it 4 times because I didn't realize that I actually added something to the cart. So as a user, like when I was analyzing this brand, this would definitely be one of the weaknesses, and one of the things that I don't like is the fact that this was confusing. I didn't even know I added something to the cart because there was no indicator of it like there were for the other ones. Okay, so I thought I saw a timer, some other ones, so they're giving me a timer to do some urgency. Let's actually get to the cart. Okay, they allow you to estimate your shipping. This one doesn't. Okay. Okay, so we definitely had some that allowed you to estimate the shipping. The cost. Jasmine owns that tea. Is that also a Shopify store? Which one, Ray? Which store it is in question of being a Shopify store or not? Oh, teasing a trap, it was. Okay. What is more appealing, image reviews or text reviews? Image reviews are definitely for like fashion and beauty, definitely want to try to get image reviews. Okay, so let's see. They have some trust there. I mean, all this stuff is pretty much. Yep, a lot of that rises and falls on choosing the right Shopify theme and apps. Yeah, that's a good thing about Shopify is pretty much you can get apps to handle all of this stuff. So again, so two, you just want to get a feel of what you like. So we definitely realized that we didn't like the way the tease and a trap was structured because that's going to confuse users. I think the best was likely this Izzy and Live process. I like how she has this countdown timer to give you some urgency to complete your order on her. So that's something that I like that she is doing. See if there's anything else on the checkout. Nope. Okay, so once you go through that, and obviously you're going to spend a little bit more time on this, on those steps, you gotta want to look at that. You want to take a look at those notes, and you want to compare, based upon these similarities. Because like I said, if a brand that is bigger than you, that's making more money than you, is doing it, and you're not, especially if you see it across all of them, then that's something that you need to work on before you start to even attempt to scale up with paid traffic. So that's some homework that you're going to have to do. So you kind of take a look at some of these things and you compare them to what you have. You also compare your gut feeling to them as well. So like I said, we just threw this up quickly and we weren't throwing any traffic to it. But now that I have a look at some of the competitors and what they're doing, what I liked and what I disliked, I can put down some notes on what I need to work on to make this better. So we do have this banner, but like our banner is way bigger than any of the other ones that we looked at. So that might be taking up more real estate and it doesn't pop quite as well as the other one. So I probably would say we can work on improving the banner image. What else did they do? So something I noticed on the other ones too is that they were consistent with how their products were featured. So if it was just like product images, then they were all product images. If they were lifestyle images of someone wearing a shirt, then they were all that way. And you see here we have a mixture. We have some just product and we have some on people. So I would want to get consistent with how we're featuring our products. Something that I can work on. So we do have this part of it, which is nice. Okay, let's look at what the product description page is. Okay, so we do have multiple product images, so that's good. Well, let me look at a shirt. Because one of the things, like I said, that you want to look at is the price point. So, so these shirts are about $26. So this is a little bit on the higher end of what we've seen from these other stores. That's 25, so that's only a little bit more. Tees in a trap, there's a 30, so actually there's a higher than ours. Let's see. They're at 26. So, I mean, it looks like our price is kind of in line with what the market has. If we were selling t-shirts for $35, then that likely would be a problem because that means we're more expensive than everyone else and we're selling the same quality and type of t-shirt, but we're pretty much priced accordingly. So that's good. We have no reviews, so that's a really big thing because the reviews give, well, we have these reviews, but you can tell that these reviews aren't the same as having reviews like this. So this gives a lot more credibility and social proof than something just like this. So we know that we need to definitely up that because that's something we're lacking. If someone's checking out this store and they're checking out someone that's selling a similar shirt and they looking at all that social proof, then we're going to have a tough time competing. So I know that's something that we need to work on is getting more social proof. And a way that you can do that in the beginning, because obviously it's easy to get social proof when you have people buying, but if you're just starting off, you actually got to get people to buy first. But something you can do is send out products to like friends or family, or you can influencers. You can actually give them the product for free in exchange for leaving a review. So yeah, that may cost you, like if the t-shirts are costing you $10 and you want to get like 25 reviews, you may have to pay $250. But if you actually get 25 reviews and they look nice and authentic, that is going to be $250 well spent, because now instead of someone going to your store when you're driving paid traffic and you literally have no reviews, now you're going to have 25 reviews that you can use across your store. So yeah, you're out $250 a product, but sometimes that's the price that you have to pay to get social proof, because that plays a big factor in getting people to buy. So never try to send paid traffic out to something that has no reviews. You want to make sure that you do anything possible to make sure that you have some type of reviews on your store. If you're selling a service, make sure you have some type of testimonial on there. So make sure that you're going to clients or people that you're working with. Make sure that you have that, because that makes a big, big difference. How do you integrate reviews into your website? I use Shopify. Is there an app in Shopify that links this for this and helps you capture reviews? So yes, the app that you want to use that I recommend is Lux. That's the review that you're looking at right here that has this format. I think that it's just really visually appealing, and it works really, really well. And it allows you to automate some of the process. So after someone has purchased 30 days, you can have like an automated email sequence that hits them up and solicit them for a review, and you can incentivize them to leave it. Do you know the price offhand of Lux? I don't, but we can find out real quick. I mean, it's not super expensive. I think it's like $10, maybe. Yeah, so $9.99 a month. Cool, Kimberly just started using and loving it. Yeah, it's a really good app that makes your store look a lot better. Use it and it's great. So yeah, if you're looking for a review app, that's the one that you probably want to go with. So that's a big thing that I need to work on here. Also too, if I'm looking at this, it just doesn't feel quite as clean. Let's look at some of these other ones. Yeah, like so for all this, it just feels a little less clean than like the competition. So I would be looking to like just make it, no, it's kind of like a objective word when it comes to clean, but just gut feeling is that like the site just needs to be a little bit more clean. Jacqueline, can it be used on all websites? Yeah, if you're talking about the review app, then it can be used on Shopify websites. That's a Shopify app. So if you're on something other than Shopify, then you can't use that app. I don't think it's it may work on WooCommerce. I'm not sure, but we always use it for Shopify. Oh, cool. Thanks, Ray. He noted that the jiggling add to cart caught his attention, which it definitely does. So we have some good things on this store. We quickly put it together, but there's definitely things that we would need to work on and improve upon, and we would know what to work on based upon the competitive analysis that we would completely go through. So it shows you just kind of like a quick version of that. We would drill down onto it, and we would come back with like a checklist of, maybe 5 to 10 things that we would work on to improve upon the overall brand. We're just looking at the store too, but we looked at things such as their social media accounts. So like if we would want to try to mimic that to make sure that we have some activity on those platforms that they do. I would be looking at the ads. So that's why we copied all of the ads that they're running, because I would be going through that and looking at the ads that I like, the ones that I think caught my attention, so that we can use those in our ads when we start running them. I would be looking and analyzing the ad copy. So we would literally go through that process, then sit down and analyze it and use it to strengthen what we're doing before we even start to spend money on paid traffic, because we know that that's going to give us a better chance of being successful when we do so. And that said, how did you make the add to cart button move? This is just the theme that we have. This theme is Shoptimized. Yeah, it's called Shoptimized. And I think that's just like something that we could do on the back end, is make that add to cart button move. So it's just going to depend on what theme you have. And if not, you probably can get them custom coded, but I know this is something that came with this theme that we have. Cool. So what questions do you have about the process? Do you guys foresee any issue with you completing this exercise for